Books that change your life. They are books that are so amazing, are so impactful that after you read those books, you are never the same. That happened to me a couple of years ago with this book, Think and Grow Rich. After I read this book for the first time, I never went back to be the same person. You can change for bad or you can change for good. In the case of this book in my life, I changed for good. It taught me all the foundations of personal development. It taught me all the foundations of wealth development. It taught me the principles of desire, persistence, faith, autosuggestion, mastermind. That's why this podcast it is called Mastermind. Sexual transmutation is another principle that this book taught me. Specialized knowledge, definite plans, and so forth. I read this book for the first time. I think that I was in maybe in third year of my bachelor degree in psychology. I read it online and quickly it became my favorite book of all time. Yeah, I have other books that had changed my life. For example, Be Here Now. It is one book that definitely changed my life. I recommend it to you. The biography of Steve Jobs also changed my life. And I don't know, maybe The Alchemist of Paulo Coelho and so many books after that had impact my life. But none of those books have made the impact that Think and Grow Rich did to my soul. This is the only book that I constantly read almost every day. Yeah, I spend sometimes some seasons that I don't read it, maybe for a couple of months, but I always come back to this book. It is a book that you should read for your entire life, almost like the Bible, that you always open the Bible and find something new, something that you didn't perceive before, and something that transformed your life forever. Always that you do it, at least it happened with me. I When I read the Bible or any other sacred book, like for example, Quran or Bhagavad Gita or I don't know, a Buddhist textbook, I always find a golden nugget that I didn't quite encounter before, and that changed my life. So, Think and Grow Rich is like a sacred book. It is in the same level. And I know that this book is not about religion, it's not about a specific God, but the principles that this book teach are very similar to the principles that religious books, spiritual books teach. It is not a significant difference between them. His author, Napoleon Hill, he's like the legend of the personal development industry. He's one of our founders. And if you have been watching a lot of positive thinking kind of videos, motivation, inspiration, affirmation, self suggestion type of videos, well, welcome to the personal development industry. This is an industry. It took me like 2 years of doing personal development constantly to understand that this is an industry. This is an industry in which you can work, you can produce, you can get clients, and you can transform lives. Now, not everyone will do a project in this industry. Most people will only just consume the content of this industry, and that's good. Maybe you don't have your own podcast. Maybe you are not writing your own self-help slash personal development book. That doesn't mean that you cannot benefit of this perennial, eternal, infinite content that is so essential for transforming your life. So Napoleon Hill, maybe beside uh, Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, definitely, and other guys and women that I am maybe missing right now in my memory. Those are like the pillars of personal development. So if you are very connected to this kind of work and you are doing it in your own life, this is a must read for you. You cannot do personal development and not read Think and Grow Rich. Believe me. Well, you can do it, but by reading this, you will synergize all your efforts. Now, this will be a mini series that I will be doing in my mastermind podcast related to the first or the most important, I will say, chapters of this book. By listening or watching this mini series, you will not understand entirely the concept of the book. This is because Napoleon Hill have his own mind, his own perspective, and his own style of explaining the concepts. And I have a different style. I have a different mind. And I have a different way of interpreting and explaining the concepts. So my recommendation to you, it is that do not take this mini series as a substitution for your reading. You should be doing both. That is the only way that you will guarantee that a powerful understanding of these concepts it is taking place in your mind and your soul in order to have more success, wealth, riches, and abundance in your life. Also, I will be not reading quote by quote this book. I will not be exactly going in the same frequency, pattern, rhythm that Napoleon Hills went in his book. This is my own art form. Yeah, it is inspired on the book. I read the entire chapter before coming here to speak about the chapter. I read it again. I have been reading it, I don't know, for maybe 7 years. But I took the essence from the chapter, but this podcast, it is not the chapter. This is something else. I will be mixing the chapter with my ideas, with my biases, with my subjective experiences, with another things that I will add, remove, or manipulate in order to do this mini series, his own proposal. What that means is that if you really want to understand Think and Grow Rich, the original art, you should go and read the book. This is not a substitute for the book. I will say that you should buy this book right now. It is very cheap. You can search it on Amazon. It is almost in any language. So if you are more like a Spanish speaking, you can search Piensa y hazte rico and you will find the book. Also, the first time that I read it, I did it online. So you can find it very easily on Google. Just put or search Think and Grow Rich PDF and you will be able to find it pretty easily on Google. This is a very old book. This book came after the Great Depression. We are talking about maybe 1935. Let me see exactly when the hell this book was published. The original edition of this book was published in 1937. So, yeah, I missed by two. It's a good margin of error. So, it's a very old book, almost 100 years old. So you can find it everywhere online. You can find the audiobook on YouTube in different language. You don't have excuse for why you are not reading it. If you are doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2 in this podcast, you have the assignment to read the book now. If you do it like one chapter per day, you will spend like maybe 15 days, 2 weeks reading the whole book or listening the audiobook. So this is a direct assignment for those who are doing the Mastermind podcast. So today we are going to start the first episode of this mini series. This mini series will be 10 episodes long, okay? And today we start by the beginning. What Napoleon Hill calls desire. And this is the foundation of everything that you will achieve in your life. Your desire. And before we continue on, don't get loose by the idea of being rich as the definite goal of this mini series or the book. Yeah, being rich is one of the goals of the book. This book is made to create material success. But also, I want you to apply it to everything that you feel that you value in your life. Everything that you value in your life. So these principles that I will be discussing, you can apply them. You can apply them in each area of your life, each goal, maybe relationships, sex, money, projects, entrepreneurship, social networking, anything that you really want in your life. But in order to achieve what you want in your life, you first need to desire. And welcome to the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2, Episode 474, with your host, Dr. Derek Israel. And a quick announcement before we continue on with this mini series. For all of you that are doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge, remember that we are going to open soon a Telegram chat or a Telegram group chat for all of the members. This will be free. And I just want there the ones that are really doing the challenge. All right. So maybe you are just watching a couple of episodes here and there whenever you have interest. If you are like that, don't apply for the group, because I want that group to be only for those who are doing the challenge every day. In that group, I will bring exclusive content. I will add complementary content for these episodes. I will ask questions for feedback on how to improve these podcasts. And most importantly, I will try to develop a good community in order to support each other and to grow each other. So nothing that it is essential for this Mastermind Podcast Challenge will be only discussed there. Everything that is essential will be discussed during the videos and podcasts. So it's not a requirement that you join our group. It is not essential. All right. It's just something that I am doing extra for those who are crazy enough to push themselves harder, and for those who wants to pertain in a community that value personal development, spiritual growth, and all the things that we discuss here in our podcast. So if you don't have already, please download the Telegram app to your phone and just wait, because I will be announcing the opening of the group very, very soon. Very, very soon. So, all right. Also, here, if you are seeing this video, if you are not only hearing the audio on Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, wherever, Apple Podcast, if you are seeing the video maybe on YouTube, or maybe you are seeing the video on Spotify, here in the bottom, you will see quote like this. And these quotes are directly uh, from the book Think and Grow Rich. So these quotes are from Napoleon Hill, specifically on the subject of desire. So, for example, this one says, the starting point of all achievement is desire. So I will be, presenting some quotes here and there during the podcast, just to give you a little bit of his voice also, right? And then you can do beautiful or wonderful combination of my voice, his voice, and most importantly, your voice, because that is the one that counts the most, your own voice, how you interpret these ideas. So, anyways, what is exactly desire? Let's start by discussing this. But I want to reframe that. Let's reframe that by saying that all your way to success starts by desire. As Napoleon Hill says, the starting point of all achievement is desire. So, if you really want to achieve anything in your life, first you need to desire that thing with all your might, with all your potency, with all your soul. If your desire it is not there, very likely your action, your behaviors, your habits, your plans will not be there also. Because desire is the fire that stimulates everything else. And I have this mini series is on Spanish. So if you understand Spanish, I recommend that you go to YouTube and look Los Cinco Elementos, Derek Israel, Los Cinco Elementos. Uh, it is called on Spanish The Five Elements. And there I discussed the metaphysical implications of the elements: fire, water, earth, air, and quintessence. And the first element that I discussed in that mini series is fire. Fire. And here, when we are talking about desire, also we are talking about fire. In the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill always compares desire to fire because they are very similar in their quality of manifestation, in the way that we can perceive or feel or act under our fire. Fire is the thing that starts something. It is the proactivity. It is the impulse. It is the drive. It is the thing that keeps you moving forward. When you look a person into his eyes or into her eyes, you can see fire or you can see death. Do that experiment for now on. Whenever you are looking someone into his or her eyes, ask yourself, what I see here? Do I see fire or do I see death? A person, an individual that is fused, merged, one with his desire, you will know by his eyes. The eyes will bright, they will be penetrating, they will be focused, they will be dynamic, full of life, full of desire. In contrast, a person that is bored, without purpose, without direction, without any type of motivation, well, you will look to his or her eyes and you will see nothing. It is like a vacuum. It is like a silent hell. So I want you to look in the mirror constantly for now on and ask yourself, do you see fire in your eyes? Do you see desire in your face? Are you wanting something in your life? Are you aspiring? Are you in purpose? Are you in movement, in direction to something in your life? Yes or no? That is a very easy question. It is not easy to be honest and to answer that question, but you can ask you every time that question. What is the level of desire that I have right now? What is the level of wanting something profoundly, more than wishing, more than hoping? What is my burning desire in this moment? Do I have it or not? And notice that whenever you don't have desire, your life sucks. Whenever you don't have a definite purpose on mind, a definite objective that you are working towards, your life sucks. And maybe you say, oh no, Derek, no, 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 no. My life do not suck. I don't have desire and I'm good. You know, I am not wanting anything. I wake up at the time that I want. I don't have any expectations. It's all good. All good. Well, that may be a good justification of your mediocrity, but that does not mean um sorry, I'm working on my English, so I am trying um to learn more English while I am walking the road. This is my desire. This is my burning desire right now. I'm doing this, right? So maybe that is your justification. That doesn't mean that you are really doing good work in the world. That doesn't mean that you are actually being a divine being in the world. By doing nothing, by wanting nothing, by desiring nothing, by acting nothing, I don't consider that advanced or sophisticated. I consider that lazy and a waste of a human being in our life. So, desire is basically an ever present will, direction, power to accomplish something. Now, if you only interpret this information with your ego, you will think that this is a very egoistic thing to do. Because you may say, but Derek, the ego will always desire things, It's gonna be a bad day for all of our spirits, all of our virtues, because our ego will be never satisfied, Derek. So this is not very spiritual. This is very egoical. And that is a very good point. But the desire for achievement do not necessarily means achievement in the conventional individualistic sense, in the material sense, in the capitalistic sense. Achievement may be or may mean other spiritual virtues, like, for example, achieve eternal compassion or to achieve infinite love or maximum intelligence or the manifestation of beauty with capital B if you are an artist. So I believe that the ultimate desire is the desire for union and love. All the other strata of desire, all the other phases of desire, all the other categories of desire, they are more gross. They are more raw than the most essential aspect of desire, that is the eternal effort and wanting of love and union and consciousness. That is what we really want. And even when Napoleon Hills uh, talks about getting rich, what he's really talking about is what you can do with riches. It is not about the money. It is what you can do with money. All the changes that you can bring into the world, all the movements that you can fund, all the interesting, creative, innovative business that you can develop if you have the stored resource that we call money. So it is not egoistical to desire money. It is egoistical to desire money for the money's sake, or money as the end of the thing. And the money is not the end of the thing. The money is just a medium to achieving greater things in humanity, to expressing your energy in more complex ways that can benefit more complex systems, like social systems, political systems, commercial systems, digital systems, cosmological systems. For example, you think that if Elon Musk didn't have enough money, he will be today launching rocket spaces to the universe, to the space, right? To the exterior of space, to the manifested space. No, he needed the money. He needed the money to fund his ambitious project for improving humanity. That's why money is essential. And that's why the first step to acquiring riches, success, your life purpose, it is desire. You need to want it. This must be your priority. And your desire must transform itself into obsession, into an everyday obsession that will be forever there without stop. As Napoleon Hill says, first you feel the desire, then the desire will fuel you. So, how you constantly nurture and cultivate your desire? Well, you need to be thinking about whatever you want, your life purpose, your final goal. You need to think about that every day, almost every time. And not only thinking about it, but also merging those thoughts with emotions. Emotions like the sex emotion, faith, gratitude, compassion, love, the emotion of achievement. If you are constantly thinking about your final goal every day, every waking moment, and fusing that with emotions, letting yourself feel the emotion in your chest or in your entire body, wherever you are feeling it, you will be cultivating your desire. It's like you are putting more fuel into the fire in order to grow the fire, grow the fire. Every day, your desire can retreat or increase. It depends. It depends on how you cultivate this internal experience. A lot of spiritual disciplines thought or teach that desire is the essential thing for every incarnated spirit. Because without desire, we will be aimless. We will be like humans walking in the earth, right? Without anything to do. It is the desire, the force, the power that give you a certain aspiration, a certain wanting to, for example, take a cell phone and call your mother. If you didn't have any type of desire, you don't do that. You just do nothing. Desire is movement. Desire is uh, the propulsion of your own manifestation. And maybe you said, Derek, that sounds good, but I am a Buddhist. I do not have desire. I cannot have desire. The whole paradigm of Buddhism is basically giving up to your desires, Derek. Because if you give up to your desires, that means that you are not suffering in life. And if you are not suffering in life, and if you can meditate your entire life without desiring, well, you will achieve nirvana, Derek. You will achieve enlightenment. And in enlightenment, you don't have any desire and you are in your perfect state. And that is, Derek, what I am aspiring. Uh, that is my goal. Look, if you are trying to say that, understand you are desiring to not desire. You know, you are desiring detachment. You are desiring enlightenment. Even if you don't desire, you desire to not desire. This is the this is the power of desire that is omnipresent, that is a current that is moving through all of us, and we cannot stop the desire. We can channel the desire into a definite goal. That is what I suggest you to do. That's what I'm trying to teach you to do in this episode, but most profoundly and holistically in the whole series, in the whole mini series. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and look for the Think and Grow Rich mini series, and you can watch all the episodes in the list of reproduction. So what the Buddhist is really working towards, it is not the elimination of desires. It is the elimination of attachment. And that is a very fine distinction, because in my case, I had the struggle when I went to India to study yoga and, religions and meditation and look for alignment a couple of years ago. I already read Think and Grow Rich, so I already knew about the desire. And I was on an ashram, that is basically a place in which you go there and you can meditate all day, you can speak with gurus, you can speak with other conscious people. And it's like a boot camp of the army, like a training of the army, but it's a training of the spirit. So I recommend you that if you go to India or any other spiritual place, Google ashram and go there, because you will have an unique experience. So I was in the ashram and I was reading this Buddhist book, and this Buddhist book was convincing me to leave all my desires, to eliminate the desires, because they were, as the Buddhist says, the origin of suffering. And I was struggling so much with this idea, because I said, seriously, I need to drop my desires to be spiritual? I need to drop all my desires to be enlightened? But what about the Buddha? The Buddha didn't drop all of his desires. The Buddha was teaching Buddhism. The Buddha was sharing his wisdom with the world. He was desiring sharing. He was desiring salvation for other egos that can be that can transcend the monkey mind and become whole, become, an universal ego. The Buddha was not on silence after enlightenment. If he was on silence after enlightenment, Buddhism will not exist, right? So my computer is right now giving itself an update. So I hope that doesn't restart. If it restart, I will lose everything. So I hope that this do not go away. Anyways, the Buddha, he was working on stuff. He was desiring. The thing is, he didn't permit itself to get attached to his desire in a way that if that desire do not transform into his material equivalent, if he cannot transform that desire into a result, he will not be pissed off. He will not be like very mad with himself. He will not be cursing and thinking that life is unfair, unjust, and blah blah blah. He will not take that victim mentality. That do not mean that he do not desire. We can say as a spiritual paradigm or a spiritual axiom, a universal truth, that we incarnate in this material form due to our desire. If you want to understand a spiritual principle, understand this. You are not made of bones, cells, skin, organs, or even a human body. You are not made out of that. Those are features of your humanity, not the constituents or the fundamentals or the atomic elements of your humanity. Really, what you are made of is desire. You are made of desire. If you didn't have a strong desire, why the hell you manifest yourself? You manifested yourself here on earth in this specific time. Why the hell? And maybe you say, I didn't manifest myself, Derek. I was just born by sex. My parents went drunk, uh, you know, were drunk and had unprotected sex, and I am now here. It is not desire. Well, my friend, that is your biological paradigm. But I'm trying to suggest another type of understanding of why you're here. I'm trying to give you a more spiritual, more meaningful explanation of why you are here. And that explanation is that you had a desire before being a human. Maybe it was a desire to help, to service, to serve. Maybe it was a desire to sing or to create a book or a poem. Maybe it was a desire of understanding what is an intimate relationship. You have a desire. And because you had that desire, it was so strong that you materialize in a physical form in order to satisfy fully that desire. And The most intelligent thing to do when you are realizing your desire is to combine that with detachment. Detachment. And in that way, you become the Buddha. You want to be the Buddha? Because we are all potential Buddhas. That is what Buddhism taught us. If you want to be a potential Buddha, be one with your desire. Do not judge your desire. Do not critique your desire. Do not resist your desire. The thing that you most profoundly want in your life. Do not resist that, but also do not get attached on it. This project that I have on social media, it is a product of my desire. Every time that I am having fun, every time that I forget about numbers, statistics, revenue, all the business part of it, I I am like a kid playing in this project. It's all desire, it's all purity of spirit here in this project. But every time that I get attached to a certain part of the project, because I'm human also, and I have an ego, and sometimes I get attached to things. For example, I can get attached to this podcast every day. I can get attached to certain client, a very important client that I need, that I want him to be paying me um, constantly. And if one day that client decide to not be my client anymore, if I'm attached, I can become, angry at him, or why you left. You understand what I'm trying to say? Um, every time that I get attached to anything in my business do not flow as it can, because of that reason, because of attachment. Because attachment brings density energetically and spiritually speaking, it brings density to the matter. You become heavy, you become almost unflexible. And with desire only, it is a whole different thing. If you can desire without being attached, well, you can move very fast and you can move towards a specific goal that you have in your mind. You see. So, it is desire bad or egoic? No. It is the way that humans move themselves towards something. It is the attachment that you project. It is your own necessity, your own immature psychological tendencies. Are those the real problem, the real adversity, not the desire? I want you to understand desire as a spectrum. And a spectrum, you can visualize it as a straight line that have different segments on the line. And each segment represent a different state of existence of the same thing. For example, if we have color spectrum, right? And in color spectrum, we have yellow in one category, but also we can have green and we can have blue. And in each transition from, for example, from green to blue, you will see a different tonality in the color, right? Because it is a spectrum, it is a continuum, it is the same thing, color, but with different aspects of that thing. That is what we call spectrum. So desire, it is itself an spectrum. In the most subtle and most soft, ethereal, abstract way of existing, well, desire is just only a state of your mind, a state of your spirit, a value that you have. You desire something, and that's it. You have that inside of you. That is the first step. That is the most primal, basic state of desire. Then, if you continuously cultivate your desire, start to grow, start to grow, start to grow, and start to permeate everything in your body. Start to permeate. Sorry, I was stretching my back. I had the desire to stretch my back. It start to permeate your atoms, your cells, your organs. It start to become you. And there is a moment, and I think that this is a very important moment, and Napoleon Hill talk about this in his book, is that your desire, you need to transform it into an obsession if you really want to win in life. It is not only about desiring a thing, it is about transmuting that desire into a burning obsession, something that you cannot delay in your heart. You cannot run from it. You cannot escape from it. It is eternally present in your phenomenology, in your subjective experience. And you may say, Derek, but well, man, that sounds crazy. I don't want to become obsessed. All right, good for you. But if you don't become obsessed with your desire, it only will be a one thing in your life, something that you wish that happened. When you become obsessed with the thing, you make it happen because your thoughts are things, and whatever you obsess on, it will manifest in your life. That's pretty sad for some people that sadly uh, obsess themselves with weird things, and that those things start to happen. Like, for example, the individual that obsessed with his thought that everyone in his apartment building, it is watching him through their windows and spying on him. If he get obsessed with that thought, believe me, he will one day look through his window and he will see someone watching. Because we get what we expect, we get what we must think about. We create our reality. So desire, it is the first step to create the reality that you really want. That is desire. This is fire. I want you to breathe this idea. I want you to fulfill your entire body and your entire spiritual space right now with desire. What do you want in your life? What do you desire in your life? So the medium part of this desire spectrum is the obsession. But we are missing still two aspects of desire that without these ones, you will never achieve something great in life. And the first one is that you need to fuse your desire or your obsession with your will. And this is an idea of Nikola Tesla. He always recommend that you need to fuse your desire with your will. Your will is your determination of acting. Every time that you are acting, you are exercising will. So if your desire do not have his will counterpart or his mechanisms to achieve that desire, it is incomplete. Your desire is not working as supposed to because you are not moving anywhere. You are not doing any change. You are not evolving sufficiently rapid. And that is a waste for you because you are a human being with a lot of potential and you should be evolving quickly just to continue in the movement and just to generate momentum. Pretty soon, I will be releasing an episode called Momentum. Let me just write that down because I don't trust my memory at all. And I thought about this episode last night and I didn't take it as a note. Momentum. So there is a will and there is a desire. There is a desire, there is a will. Both need to become the same if you really want to achieve in life, if you want to be a winner in life. It is not only about desiring, it is acting on those desires ferociously. Gradatim ferociter, step by step with ferocity, as Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, will say. So I want you to ask yourself, what percent, and this is something for you to do in your mind, what percent of your desire have you turned them into obsessions? Maybe one, maybe two. That's good. Maybe none. And when I'm saying obsession, I am not meaning that, for example, you desire Skittles. I love Skittles. And you desire so much Skittles that then every time that you go to a gas station, you pick You pick up a Skittles package and you start eating those, eating the candy, and every day you stop by a garage or you stop by a gas station, and you every day um, buy the Skittles. Now, in this hypothetical example, yeah, you finally merge, fuse, got together your desire with your will, because what you are desiring, you are acting, you are willing yourself forward to that manifestation. But that do not mean that that is the correct avenue or the correct um, dimension for you to transform your desire into will. You are doing it in a very toxic way. You are doing it by eating candy excessively. So, not every desire you need to transform it into an obsession by repeatedly thinking about it, mixing that with emotions, and using other techniques like self-suggestion and reading books about the subject and surrounding yourself with communities around the subject. You know, not every desire you need to transform it into an obsession. Only those that you really value and that will really benefit your life and others. Skittles, eating Skittles, it is a desire that is not worth it to make it an obsession. But the desire, maybe for you to become a mother, a father, for example, just taking away a little bit the subject of riches and wealth and money, maybe that is a desire that you should convert into an obsession and let yourself to be obsessed until you make it. And by obsessing this example, I don't mean that you will stalk people to reproduce with them, but you will obsess, for example, with your communication to improve your value in the sexual market. You will obsess with your body to become the healthier that you can. You will obsess with sex to be able to do the sexual session as the best as possible, in order to maximize the possibility of reproduction. You will obsess with the details of the desire. You will obsess with the modus operandi towards your desire. You will obsess with the spirit behind the desire, not the results of the desire, and not with the desire as a thing. You remember, desire is just a medium. This is just a mean in which we can progress in our life, in which we can move in our life. So we have the mental state, the internal state. This is the most subtle part of the desire spectrum. Then we move forward a little bit by cultivating that desire, and that desire transforms itself into an obsession. That is the middle kind of way in the spectrum. When you are in the obsession, you think about it every day, you act about it every day, you talk about it every day, and no one, even those who will critic, even those who will try to bring you down, if you are in obsession mode, you are untouchable, my friend. That's it. If you are on obsession mode, you are untouchable by your critics. But we are missing the final link of this desire spectrum. And we can call this the material equivalent of the desire. So we have the softer part, it is the mental state, the spiritual state, the fixed idea of desiring, the fixed feeling, emotion, receptiveness of desiring. That is the softer. In the middle, we have the obsession because it became a little bit more gross, a little bit more active, a little bit more on your control, a little bit more human instead of archetypal. And the third and final stage of the spectrum desire, the desire spectrum, it is achieving or manifesting the material equivalent of your desire. So let me give you an example with this cell phone. This is an iPhone. I don't remember exactly which type. I think it's 11. I used to desire the iPhone, right? I want it because I love how it looks. I love the technology. Then I obsessed in buying the iPhone. In this case, I was in Puerto Rico a couple of months ago, maybe like 8 months ago, and my old phone was damaged. And one day I woke up and I said, okay, today is the day that I will buy another machine, another phone. And for that entire day, I was thinking about that every moment of the waking hour until I went to the store and I finally made the purchase and now have the material equivalent of my desire. This is the material equivalent of my desire. First, started with an idea of a wanting. I want an iPhone. Then I start thinking about it for the whole day, mixing it with emotion, mixing it with determination, mixing my thoughts with purpose. And that obsession made me move to the store. And now I have the material equivalent, aka the iPhone that I used to desire. I now have it because I manifest manifested the spiritual, the material equivalent of desire. So in anything that you are working in your life right now, you will go through these three stages of manifestation if you use a strong desire to fulfill your goals. Whenever you feel a desire emerging in your life, you need to ask yourself this following question: how can I transmute this desire into his material equivalent? And that is a tough question. But that question will open your imagination, as we will discuss in a further episode in this mini series. It open up your imagination to formulate plans, practical plans to achieve your desire. But basically, you are the sum of all the questions you ask yourself. Never forget that. You want to be better, ask yourself better questions. I learned that by, you know, certifying getting certified as a coach, as a personal coach, life life coach. I learned that. So I want you to think in your most ambitious goals right now and close your eyes. This is going to be the final exercise of this podcast. I just want you to give you a little bit of a demo or of a experiential um, experience. Now that you have your eyes closed, I want you to think about the thing that you want most in your life, the thing that you desire most in your life. And I want you to picture that image in your brain. Don't let it sleep. Don't let it go. Breathe deeply. And I want you to feel the emotion of desire as it is going on through your body right now. Don't judge, don't judge the experience. Don't reject the experience. Just breathe with your eyes closed and just experiment the emotion of desire. Look how it feels because this is the experience that I want you to be cultivating from now on. Continue with your eyes closed, breathing deeply. And I want you to let you desire whatever you want in life. Don't try to be over realistic. Don't try to focus on the how. Focus on the what and let yourself dream a little bit. Now, I want you to take those emotions of desire, everything that you are feeling right now, and I want you to transform that into action. I just want you to commit in this mini meditation that forever in your life, forever, you will always feel your desire and act on it. You will produce the material equivalent of your desire through action, through effort, through sacrifice, through intelligent manifestation. And finally, in this brief visualization exercise, I want you to picture yourself in your mind. I want you to imagine yourself as having already the thing that you are desiring. And now feel all the emotions that you feel. Look how different you feel right now before this brief exercise. This is just the power of visualization, my friends. This is just the power of meditation. This is just the tip of the iceberg. All right, you can open your eyes and welcome back. So we reach the final destination of our episode of today. I hope that you learned something. I think that the most essential thing that we discussed is that desire is not the same as attachment. Remember that? You should desire, but you should not get attached. Also, we compare desire with fire as something that burns inside you towards movement, towards progress, towards somewhere. You are moving, you are desiring, you are pushing your limits, your standards, your goals, your objectives in life. You have a purpose in life. Remember also that desire is a spectrum. First is a mental state that you cultivate in your mind by thinking, by combining your thoughts with emotion, by self-suggestion, by journalism. You cultivate that desire into an obsession. And once it's an obsession, you cannot do anything else that is not manifesting that desire in his material equivalent, which is the final part of that spectrum. I want you to leave a comment below. This will help your desire. This will cultivate your desire. Just telling me or telling the Israel community here on YouTube or Spotify, whatever you're doing the contribution. I want you to comment what is your more, how can I say this? What is your most potent burning desire of all of the desire that you already have? I just want you in one sentence or in two sentences, nothing crazy. Keep it short, keep it simple. But give me, my friend, what is your burning desire right now? Comment that right now, because that will cultivate that desire. You are externalizing, you are putting into words what is only an imagination of yours, and that will help you to materialize in his material equivalent your desire. Also, remember to share this episode with a friend. Look in my YouTube channel, Derek Israel, if we already have the reproduction list of this series. If you are watching this live, well, you know that every day I will do an episode and it will be 10. But you can, if you are seeing this maybe in 2023, 2025, 2030, you can look the list of reproduction and you can find each episode of this mini series there. Remember, you should download the book and you should read the book. This will help you a lot to understand better the series. Also, you can hear the audio book. Share this with a friend and do not forget, my friend, to go to derekisrael.com. Visit derekisrael.com just to see all the services that I have for you, like coaching, mentorship, consulting, also my courses, the books that I will be launching, all the merchandise, all the projects, the blog, the podcast, the videos, everything that I do is currently in derekisrael.com. And I recommend you to visit my store, like, I don't know, maybe once per week, just to see if any updates are on my store and if you want to be part of that process. I not always, but mostly I give special discounts in the beginning of my projects, in the launching part, in the pre-selling. So by you checking almost every week my website, you are guaranteeing that you can uh, take advantage of one of my discounts. So that is a good deal for you and for me. All right. So see you in the next episode tomorrow. We are gonna discuss faith. All right? The second component for maximum achievement. Remember, think and grow rich.